All right, everybody. Welcome back to Horseman Comics and Gaming. We actually have a game 3 for you between Brandon Lasure on Jeskai Control and Chris Gorski back in the booth or back in the feature match area with Black White Fabricate. We may have these backwards of who's on what side.
Oh no, we do have it correct. There's Mr. Gorski on the right there.
Alrighty.
So, what do you think, Ryan? How do you think this is gonna go?
So I watched a little bit of their game this last, a little bit of their game too as they were finishing up as we were trying to find somewhere else to come up here and watch. And the Jeskai Control matchup seemed like Jeskai Control was able to kind of get there due to the Torrential Gear Hulks.
Yeah, I see Gearhulk being a very powerful card in this matchup, but also Chris Gorski's friend Cabal, I feel like, can also be a very powerful card in this matchup if that manages to stick.
Right. I think that Brandon's going to have just a lot more removal than, obviously, than the red-green deck did.
Right.
For Cabal. So I think it won't be as tacked as much. So he may take maybe 4, 6, I'm going to say at the most,
Right.
damage as far as that's concerned. And
And
then,
I did see some Blessed Alliances from Brandon, so there may be some more sideboard Blessed Alliances coming
Right.
in to like stop the attacks and like also being able to discard a card like an extra land. to
possibly
gain
an
for-
immolating glares.
Right.
So I think Brandon has a little bit more action against the Black White Fabricate deck
Right.
than does Chris Gorski.
But Chris is going to be on the play here because he did lose game 2 and
Okay.
picked up game 1. So, I mean, being on the play has got to be a plus against a control deck.
So
we
the
just-
players have 16 minutes left in their round. So we're going to go ahead and get them started here. Hopefully we get this really good game 3 here. And then we'll be going into the third round after that.
Yep.
And then we may be bringing you a fourth round.
Yeah, we may have
Our
a
fourth round of
special-
Rodden.
Yeah, we may
Well,
have
Modern.
a modern. Yeah, we may have a special bonus round of modern for you guys at the end of the night. True possibility.
As Modern is seems to be our premier format here at the store, where we get more players from Modern than we typically do for any of the other
Yeah.
formats that we play.
We do not have a premier meta though. I do not like the store's meta.
Our meta is
Unhealthy.
diverse, I would say is the word.
Well, I don't know if you can call it diverse. I mean, any given modern tournament, I think about 40% of the field is infect, and that's not okay.
Infect or Jund.
Yeah, so when you take infect and Jund out of the deck, you maybe have 3 people playing modern. So
That's not true. I mean, some days we have 8 Modern decks with 8 different pilots of different decks. So like,
yeah.
it's
Turn
we're
2.
I-
Ailey seems pretty solid.
yeah.
Here.
Brandon looks like he had a Evolving Wilds into an island. I never thought that I would see the day that Evolving Wilds became just a staple in control decks.
I mean, when Wizards does not give you, well, I mean, they gave us special lands
Right.
or like an adequate way other than like traverse to find a land necessary for the deck.
Well, so I'm even thinking back to like when we just had like Innistrad
Oh,
and Mirrodin.
Mana was great.
Mana was great then, but like, so we had like the buddy lands or the check lands, whatever you want to call them, and then we had the fast lands. But
I did not like the hand land cycle. I don't know.
right,
that
I don't
was
think that's very great, but it's just kind of crazy. There's a blessed land that's just gonna take care of the Eiley there. Brandon should have 0 energy left now.
If he goes to move that energy, we'll try to stop the match because that actually is something that can affect the game.
Right.
Looks like a Needle Spires here.
So, the mana was really, really great then, but like, Evolving Wild still didn't see play during that time. Even like, 'cause, I mean, I played Esper Control, I
Right.
played Solar Flare, I played Grixis Control during these times, and these Grixis Control decks were very, very greedy in their
Well,
mana
it's just
bases.
the issue was just because I mean you had Scalding Tarn and Misty Rainforest.
Well,
in
this
that
was
standard
before,
format though.
Well, no, we didn't. This was Mirrored and Besieged and
Okay.
Innistrad. So this is where the win cons of the deck were. You're either playing zombies, you're playing Delver, or you're playing Nephalia Drownyard Control.
So Brandon's gonna take 3 here off the Syndicate Trafficker, going down to 17. Still has yet to remove the energy counter. We'll see if it proves to be an issue. So Brandon just playing a 4th land and passing may
So,
have something.
maybe
He's
you have
got a full hand.
maybe you have Glimmer Void or Glimmer of Genius, but he can't cast it.
There's an Angel. We'll see if that's gonna survive. If it does, that's pretty big hit.
Yep. So
I do see a Gear Hulk in Brandon's hand. I think this is going to be a Void Shatter. Oh, Stasis Snare.
Okay, there's...
He can cast that with how he tapped his mana, so that's
right,
fine.
so... Now, he did it with the trigger on the stack. I think that's the wrong thing to do. I think you wait until you just wait to see
what is decided.
Exactly.
With you jumping to conclusions, Chris is going to be like, oh.
Well, then I'm just going...
I'll just make tokens.
Right.
Oh, but now Chris is just set up. Like, this Trafficker is going to be doing a lot of damage. I mean...
Well, actually, Brandon now has 5 mana available, so he actually can just... He can just fumigate here if he has one in hand, but does not
Brandon needs to get... Oh, can't get rid of... If you don't get rid of this Trafficker...
Right.
Like, when he untaps. So now here's the issue.
So now there's
a Snare of his own in Chris's hand. Looks like another Shambling Vent. An isolated not an isolated chapel, sorry, a concealed courtyard.
Concealed courtyard.
I've seen a lot of lands. There's a plains. So we're gonna get
that's a Fragmentize.
Oh, Fragmentize targeting the Stasis Snare. Is it gonna be met by a negate though?
Looks like it. Because
it will be met by a negate.
Because if not, that's a lot more creatures.
And a lot more damage.
Right.
Too. But that's still 5 damage coming across here. Yeah, dropping Brandon down to 9.
So Chris just on the straight aggro plane here. So
I think Chris is doing the right plan here. Sit back, like, protect your Trafficker. This card is going to take you to victory.
Right, and I think...
So Brandon found the 6th land for the Gear Hulk, but, I mean...
What does it do here? It doesn't really do anything.
It casts either a Negate or a Blessed Alliance. But that's why you also need to swing the servos if you're Chris.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I guess... Brandon doesn't have the option to escalate it when it's cast in the yard. So, I mean, the Gear Hulk just blocks the Trafficker, but in that case, he just sacks a servo to make it indestructible, and still damage is getting through. So I think he's going to you're going to see Brandon here, I think, cast a Blessed Alliance, gaining 4 life.
I think that's what he's just going to have to do. So here comes the Gear Hulk. Now, does he have the 2nd blue to do this? I can't tell what the other land is up in the top. He may. I can't really tell.
Oh, see, now he just removed that energy. And that is an energy he did not have. All right. Should I try to stop this match?
So go ahead and try to stop that. We're going to see exactly what happened here and go from there. So we're going to possibly back it up a little bit. The players will get a time extension here. I'm going to go ahead and pause our clock here, as that it could matter here in the long run. So, all right, so we are going to back it up all the way to where the Gear Hulk. So he doesn't have a 2nd blue. That's what it looks like. Get replay on the time here. So it looks like he did not have a 2nd blue there. And so now I think he just takes 5 more and then brings him down to 4.
So yeah, it was just nerves for Brandon. First time on camera, but doing well tonight at FNM. He is completely apologized. I didn't even realize it. So just simple mistakes. We've all been there whenever we're in the big spotlight. It can be tough to play under pressure sometimes. Yeah, so, I'm hoping he doesn't get that blue. That Gear Hulk will be nice. Looks like another basic mountain with how he stacked his lands. Those are 2 mountains over there.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just a simple mistake for forgetting that he did not have that energy from before.
Right. So now he's just kind of, I'm on the Needle Spires playing to help to protect my life total. It's not enough though, because Chris is just gonna back up and he's gonna activate.
Did Brandon opt not to block the Syndicate Trafficker?
Correct. He chose not to. So
I think maybe you can block one of the servos, but maybe just get sacked to the Syndicate Trafficker. But
right. I mean, it's still the same amount of damage coming through either way.
Right.
But now I think
it's one less creature though, which is a little bit relevant.
And I think now they're just kind of discussing like.
Well, it looks like Brandon picked up a Wandering Fumarole maybe in his hand, or is that a negate?
I think that's a Wandering Fumarole, but I don't think it really matters here. As far as
it is a Fumarole or a Canal, one of the 2.
All right.
Yeah, Brandon's just gonna.
Yeah. So that
is tough there, getting mana screwed sometimes.
Yeah, that blue source, not having that 2nd blue source is, I think that's just basically what stopped that from being a little bit better for Brandon there. And like we said, that was the nerves of playing on camera for the very first time. It's okay. Mistakes were made. He'll learn from it.
But Brandon going to not a bad record of 1-1, and Mr. Gorski is going on a 2-0 with Black-White Fabricate.
So we're going to bring it back up here to the booth for just a little bit. Let the players kind of clear out of the area. Let them kind of take a deep breath of right before we get to this next round.
So I think it is intimidating. I mean,
if it's your first time,
the way we have it set up here is we have this little comic book nook where we set up this table, and we're currently up above them watching down and watching them play. But, I mean, people can just come in, and it's kind of like a viewing, like a standing room. Like, people are just like, looking around, watching your match. And, I mean, it can get intense.
Right. So not a lot of people, like, kind of go into where the people are standing unless you're a judge or something like that. But for the most part, people can just kind of crowd around the entire area, and they're able to just kind of watch you play.
I mean, if you've ever held that feeling that, like, you know, you're the last match left in the round, you know, everyone's watching your match because, like, they're looking for something to do to pass the time. I mean,
it's even kind of intimidating, like, when you go, like, if you're not used to big crowds watching your matches, if you may be playing at a SCG Open or whatever, and then, like, you kind of go into time, you're not maybe even playing anybody really big, but then next thing you know, maybe you're playing an interesting deck.
Right. People just want to watch.
Happened to me last time I went to an Open where I was playing Saheeli Rai combo. Wasn't playing anything big. I was just playing the classic. Wasn't playing against anybody important, but it attracted the crowd because one person's like, "Hey, what's this guy playing?" And then next thing you know, there's 10, 15 people surrounding you, and they're just like, and then if you lose or you win, like, it's either, oh man, bad beats, or like, man, that deck looks so sweet, kind of thing.
I had like a similar experience, except I was playing a pro like twice. One time I had a place against Huey Jensen, and he brought his whole corral with him.
Right.
So I had like 15, 20 people watching my match, and it was intimidating. It was back in that Innistrad Standard. I was playing the green-white aggro deck. He was playing the Jeskai control that not you see in Modern, because that deck was standard legal at one point.
Exactly.
And I mean, he just wiped the floor with me. I mean, but I had no idea who he was. Like, I was a young Magic player at the time, so I mean, like, and he just destroyed me. The other time was playing at the recent Legacy GP against Ari Lex. I mean,
and so these people are bringing in lots of different people that you
scouting. Like, people are scouting, people are watching matches, like recording how people are doing. I mean, whenever you just look down at a slip and see a name that you recognize, it's a little intimidating because it's like, where have I seen this before?
Exactly.
And then you sit down across the person like, oh, I read this guy's Star City article every week.
Right, or maybe you watch his maybe you listen to his podcast. Maybe he streams, like against Joseph. I've played against him a couple of times. Some people have negative connotations against him. I personally don't. I know other people do, but you know, you kind of sit across from these people and like you kind of look up to them a little bit. But then, if you're able to pull out the win, you kind of take a big sigh of relief.
It's interesting because like you just